This week's Parsha, Parshas Tzav, also happens to be Shabbos HaGadol, which maybe we'll get to another piece afterwards. So, we did so much Torah about Pesach, we shouldn't forget about the Parsha. So we'll do a short word on Parshas Tzav. Torah tells us, Zos Torah Asa Oila. This is the Torah, these are the laws of the Ola. And then the Torah goes and tells you the laws of the Ola. Says the Medrash and the Gemara in Menachos, play on words. Those Torah Asa Ola, the Torah of the Ola. That call her osek, but Torah Asa Ola ki'ilu hikriv Ola. Anybody who engages in the study of the laws of the Korban Ola is considered as if he brought the Korban Ola. That's what Gemara tells us.
Okay.
Now. The Gemara also says this about other korbanos, but it seems like the basis would be the korban ola. The first one in the Torah that's mentioned is korban ola. Then it mentions also the korban mincha.
About like those important carbon.
Well, that's the thing. The korban ola is burnt totally up on the mizbeach.
Right.
Ola, the one that goes up, because nothing else gets. The korban shlomim, why is it called shlomim? It's from the word shalom. It's peace. Everybody's happy. The Kohanim get some, the Bailim, the owners get some, the Mizbeach get some. Everybody's happy. The Korban Ola goes straight up. Now, the Korban Ola is the first one mentioned in the Torah. So that's the Binyanav. That's the main example of this concept that if you're involved in the Torah subject and of a certain mitzvah, it's considered as if you did that mitzvah. Okay? So the question is, why is the Korban Ola picked as the main example of this? Because it was the first one in the Torah? Okay. So if the Korban Mincha was the first one in the Torah, then the Mincha would have been the prime example of this? It doesn't seem like that's the reason why the main example of this concept that if you're involved in the study of a korban, it's like you put the korban, it's from the Ola. It can't just be because that was the first one in the Torah. The Torah would have made Mincha the first one, or Chatos, if it was the main one. So what's special about the Ola? The korban Ola is the Binyanav, is the main example of this idea that if you're involved in the study of the Ola, it's considered as if you brought the Ola. Why is this the main example? Says the Tzav Sofer, a very interesting idea. That the Gemara says further that if you're involved in Torah, you don't even need an Ola or a Mincha. Not just that the Torah is considered as if you brought an Ola. Study of Torah is greater than even bringing a korban. So what does that mean? What it means is that studying Torah saves a person from doing a sin, and therefore he won't come to do a sin even by accident, and therefore he won't have to bring korbanos to be mechaper, to atone for the sin, because by studying Torah he won't come to sin.
But in the case of one who did,
yeah?
Right. Yeah.
So it's an interesting idea. Right. We're talking about when you're on a high level, the real Torah. Not with the art school, with the coffee, with your feet up. You know, the real, like you guys do. You come to a real Lamda Shechabur, you know?
Call this real Torah.
The Maggid Shir is a little bit questionable, but the Torah definitely is very good. Some of his jokes are not necessarily for the okay. So, but enough self-deprecating humor. Getting back to the Dvar Torah. So that's how the Tzav Sofer learns. Interesting shot. That's what it means in the Gemara. That if you're asking for Torah, you don't need an oil or mincha. Interesting shot, because studying Torah properly, be'amkus, be'in, in depth, would save you from doing an avera, and therefore you wouldn't need a korban to be mechaper, to atone for the avera, because you won't do an avera in the first place.
Obviously, obviously that's the best case scenario, but this is for the case where people do an avera.
So Shmuel asked a very good kasha. Avakan. Mi shechata v'oisek b'pashas oila nakshev kilo kirk v'osel korban shetzarech. So
they're basically saying that the appropriate time to eat is...
Let's explain this a little bit better. I think that's what Shmuel's question is. So we said that the ultimate level would be that bringing the korban, studying Torah would be so important that it would be in the place of a korban because you wouldn't sin. Now, we have a question. I think it's Shmuel's question. Let's explain this a little bit better. The Gemara says in Brachos, the first parak, the Vav, that if somebody wants to do a mitzvah, But he had an onus. An accident came, emergency came, and he's not able to to perform that mitzvah. Mila olive akasa kilo or so. The Torah considers it as if he did it. Now we're not talking about when you play around. Well, I want to go to shul. It's raining. No, you really want to go to shul, and you get into your car. And the car doesn't start. You call AAA. I mean, you try everything you can. You really try to get to shul. You try to, it's too far. It's 5 miles away. You can't get there in time for this year, for our Lom Chabur here. And you really, really try. Gemara says, if you try to do a mitzvah, but you don't do it because of an oines.
Something gets in the way.
Something gets in the way. Your oines.
Yeah, you know where we heard this from.
Okay. It's considered as if you did the mitzvah. Okay. Now, we don't have a Beis HaMikdash nowadays. Now, if a person wants to bring Korban Olah and he's not able to, okay, and he's involved in the study of the Torah of the Korban Olah, Ma Lodu Lasso is old. What else can he more do? There's nothing else he can do. He wants to bring the Korban. There is no Beis HaMikdash. We have no heter bamos. You can't make an altar in your backyard, right? By the pool there in the back. You can't do that. I used to think that workout room was the sukkah for the first 5-10 years. Right. Okay, it was. Okay. So you try to do everything you can. There is no heter bamos. You can't build an altar in your backyard. Okay. So what are you going to do? So over there, maybe over there that works. You try to bring a korban. There is no mizbeach. So then we say, okay, you study Torah. It's considered as if you brought the korban. The problem is. So I understand this concept. Let me explain. Mitzvah. A person tries to do a mitzvah, and he doesn't do the mitzvah because he can't. Okay, you try to do what you can, so it's considered as if you brought the korban. Is it as if you did the mitzvah? The problem is, like Shmuel said, Avo b'sha'asa avera, a person did an avera, and the korban comes to be mechaper, to atone for the avera. Or are you going to say, well, I want to bring a korban to atone for the avera? Or are we going to say in that case, it's considered as if you brought the korban? That can't be, says the Tzav Sofer. You actually do an avera b'poil. We're not talking about when you think something bad. You actually do an avera. You eat chazer. You go ahead and you eat chazer. Okay? You go ahead and you do an avera. So you're going to say, well, it's not Beis HaMikdash. I'm going to try to bring on korban chatos. I'm going to learn the halachas of korban chatos, and it's going to work as if I brought a korban chatos. Maybe by a mitzvah you could say that. I tried to do a mitzvah. You can't do it, so I'll learn the halachas of the mitzvah, and it would be considered as if I did the mitzvah. But over here, it can't be that way. How can it be that you do an avera, b'poil, you actually do an avera, and then you try to do a korban, and it's considered as if the korban wiped away the avera? Can't be.
The whole thing was brought as a mitzvah.
Okay.
Because it was mitzvah.
Now, by a korban olah, why does someone bring a korban olah? Korban olah comes from a person that has inappropriate thoughts, not by actually doing an avera. Yeah, person that does an avera, he eats chazer, he eats pork. He has to bring a korban chatos. Okay. Says the Tzav Sofer, you're right. If you try to bring a korban chatos, but you don't have a Beis HaMikdash, it's not considered as if you brought the korban chatos. It didn't work. If you do an avera b'poil, you actually do an avera with your hands. We don't say that if you try to bring a chatos, it's considered as if you brought a chatos. Doesn't make any sense. It's not fair. Why would it work? You get off too easy. Says the Tzav Sofer. Do you know why the oila is the prime example of this idea? That if you involved in a study of a ola, it's considered as if you bring the ola? Dafka by the ola. Only by the korban ola. Why? Because the korban ola comes not by actually. Why do you bring the korban ola? Not for actually doing an avera. Then you bring the chatos. When do you bring the korban ola? If you had inappropriate thoughts. You thought something that you're going to do an avera. I want to do a sin. When you bring the korban, let's say you have the wrong makshavos. Then you bring another carbon to make up for the bringing the carbon of the bad thoughts. You want to break Shabbos. You go to your car, you try to turn on the car, it doesn't work. So over there, you can't say you have been called Machatos because you were Machal Shabbos. You were Machal Shabbos. You had bad thoughts. You tried to be Machal Shabbos. So that's why the Korban Olah is the example. That if you're involved in the Korban Olah, it's considered as if you brought an Olah. Because why do you bring the Olah for Machshavos Ros? So if you have Machshavah Tova, that can make up for the Machshavah Ra. But by Korban Chatos, when you do actually something wrong with your hands, you actually do an Avera, having right thoughts won't work to be Mechaper for an Avera that you did with your hands. Mida keneged mida, eye for an eye. Says the Tzav Sofer, beautiful verse. It's a cute verse. That's why we say Kol Ha'is B'Torah Oila, Kilu Hikruv Oila, because Oila is the biggest idea. The other ones are Chiddush. It's a big Chiddush to say that if you do an Avera b'Poil, that by having the Machshava, that's going to take care of that. That's a big Chiddush. But by Oila, it's easy to understand. That's why the Oila is the main example of this idea. Kol Ha'is B'Torah Oila, Kilu Hikruv Oila, because the Oila comes for bad Machshavas. So if you want to be mechaper for bad machshavas, if you have good machshavas, that would work to be mechaper for the bad machshavas.